Hey, Shalom, Akim Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem HaKodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his truth. The sincere Shalom to the hopeful like this out there, listening, learning, able teaching the truth and sincerity. Shalom. I pray this lesson be edifying to the hopeful elect. All right, Akim. So I got this video I want to play. This is fair use for educational purposes only. All right, this Jake in the world who clearly doesn't know what the hell's going on. All right, so we're just going to go into it through the scriptures and get some understanding.
Women think that they're above you and they could control you because they have the keys to sex. Once you don't want sex from them, you'll see how they'll malfunction. Sex is their only bargaining power. The fact that God made men want sex more than women do is the fucking problem. He fucked mankind when he did that. The fact that men have to be the ones to pursue women fucked mankind. Women have took the attention that they get from men to the head. Now they think they are way above you. Even the most unattractive, average looking ass fucking woman thinks she's above you. The fact that you have to approach women is fucking stupid. You're not even guaranteed to get her. And they're damn sure not gonna shoot their shot at you. And it's not because they're shy, it's because they're entitled. You will be one of the most attractive niggas she's ever seen in her life. She still won't shoot that shot because she believes that you need to be the one to go through the uncomfortability and approach her.
All right, now I'm going to say I agree with some of the stuff he said, man. I agree with some of the stuff he said as far as, the fact that they don't want sex as much as men. Okay, that gives them kind of an unfair advantage, but that's in this society. That's in this society. That's not the way the Lord designed it from the beginning, man. So to sit there and say that the Lord fucked up, that's a lot of pride and ego, man. And you ought to fear the Lord. With Psalms 111 and 10, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, man. If you had any wisdom in your body, you would repent from what you just said, man. As if the Lord fucked up. The Lord didn't fuck up, man. Let's go to the scriptures and see how did the Lord actually set it up from the beginning, man. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1 and 21. All right, or 28 rather. It says, and the Most High blessed them, right? Speaking about Adam and Eve. And the Most High said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. You see, there you go. Be fruitful and multiply. So the first command was have sex and multiply. Okay, a lot of sex. Okay, because how are you gonna populate the world? Okay, see, the wicked elites of this society tell us that the world is overpopulated. It's not true. The world is overpopulated to them because they're afraid of what could happen if they aren't able to control everybody. And that's why they want to mandate a chip that's going to be inserted underneath the skin for buying and selling so they could track and control everybody because they're afraid. Okay? And of course they want that total domination and control because they're greedy and wicked. Okay, starting with the international bankers, the elites, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, so on and so forth. Okay, but the point being, the Lord designed us to reproduce, man. Okay, so just because the women don't have a sex drive, that's not our problem, man. The Lord said to reproduce. Okay, that's why a man is supposed to have what? Multiple wives. Okay, so now we're starting to see the bigger picture, man. The Lord didn't do anything wrong. What we're going through is a punishment, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But this is the way the Lord designed it, man. This is Exodus 21 and 10. If he take him another wife, her food and her raiment and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. Okay, just a quick precept to show you that, all right, the scriptures say it's lawful to have multiple wives. Okay, and if you can imagine, because this is how it's going to be in the kingdom of heaven, okay, we're going to have hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of wives in the kingdom in order to do what? To repopulate the earth and eventually go to other planets, man. Which, that's a whole nother lesson that I made. where the Lord will give us planets. But just basically the point being, how are we going to reproduce? Like it says in the scriptures, be fruitful and multiply with one woman. Okay, that's another problem. Okay, because in this society that we live in, it's all about what feminism, uh, all this weirdo stuff about feminism and pandering to women, so on and so forth. So of course in this society, okay, you can only have one woman and you got to cater to her needs, and then she, like the guy said in the video, she doesn't want sex as much as you. So guess what? So in this system, this crooked system where the law of the Lord that we just read is not applied, okay, what happens? The woman has all the power. Mankind is fucked. But the Lord didn't fuck mankind up through incompetence. No, the Lord is doing that as a punishment because of what we did, which I'm going to get into in a minute. Okay, I want to grab one more real quick about another reason, another thing that we had in the ancient world. So this is the way the Lord set it up, right? This is Sirach 7:25. Okay, showing you that the system the Lord created is completely different than what you Americans are used to, you Babylonians, right? And a lot of you Jakes, that's why we always say you've been in Babylon too fucking long, bro. This is all you know. This is why you're confused. This is why you can't figure it out. Because you think that this is life. This is the way it's supposed to be. This is just nature. No, it's not fucking nature to have women out here butt ass naked going to clubs and bars and telling their man at home what to do. That's called an artificial system that was created. But you people think it's natural. You blame female nature for all these problems. When it's not female nature that's the problem, it's the fucking leadership of this wicked ass kingdom, man. Who rules the world right now? We call them out by name, right? Esau Edom, the so-called white man, okay? And his starting with his elites, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, right? The same people that are fucking you people over, man. Okay, of course they set it up for the woman to be in power over you, so they can keep families apart and have everybody spend all their money to get. I mean, think about it, man. Why would they want the woman in the home when they can have the woman at work? Now they get taxed. They get taxes from both the man and the woman. You see, they got the kids at the school so they can indoctrinate them, right? And we can go into that whole rabbit hole, but I want to grab this. This is Sirach 7:25. Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter, but give her to a man of understanding. Right. The point being, marry your daughter. So it was the father's job to choose his daughter's partners. Okay, so the woman can't be out here talking about, only 6 feet tall. You got to have this and that, and you got to look a certain way. Nah, the father would choose the man, not based off of her sexual desire, but based off of her father's understanding and wisdom. You see, so this is a whole nother system, man. A whole nother system completely contrary to what America is. Okay, so no, the Lord didn't fuck up. The Lord set it up perfect from the beginning. Okay? All right, all you people out here that agree with this system, you're the fuck ups. You're the problem, man. Okay? So what happened? Why are we not following this system anymore, man? Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Okay, right, because what is the system that I'm referring to, as far as with women and men, okay? Arranged marriages, men having multiple wives, okay? And women submitting to your husbands, obviously, being fruitful, multiplying, right? There's other scriptures that talk about don't deny your husband, so on and so forth. So, this whole thing about a woman holding pussy over your head, that's not in the Lord's program. That was never from the Lord's program. So, you're dead wrong there, buddy. Talking about, oh yeah, the Lord fucked up. No, he didn't fuck up. Okay? The Lord, because that's the spirit he's coming in, is like, oh yeah, the Lord fucked up. The Lord did not fuck up, man. It's a fucked up situation, yes, but again, that's that punishment. So let's get it. Deuteronomy 28 and 15, man. We're going to go into Deuteronomy 28 and 15, man. What happens to us? We are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. We are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. What did the Lord say was going to happen if we started worshiping idols, right? We're supposed to rule the earth. If we rule the earth, then guess what? The system I just showed you would be the system that is the dominating system here in the earth. But what would happen if we lost our power? It tells you right here, Deuteronomy 20:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, right? So if you don't listen to the Lord as an Israelite, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. The Lord is speaking to our people, saying, look, if you worship idols, if you go off, you don't do what I say, you're going to have curses. What is one of the curses? Let's get it. We're going to go down to verse 30. It says, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Right? That's that promiscuity. Okay? You got a wife here in Babylon, you got a girlfriend, right? Then she's going out doing what? Girls' night out. She's going to the club, shaking ass. She's sleeping around, right? And how did this curse manifest? It manifested through the so-called white man's program called feminism. You see? All right, it says, thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Right, us being spoiled, we do all this work. Okay, you got Issachar out here building houses every day, yet they rent. You got 10 guys living in the same house trying to save money because our people are constantly being robbed and spoiled out here because we're no longer in rulership. We lost our power. Okay, let's get verse 47 real quick. All right, verse 47, it says, because thou servest not Yahweh thy power with joyfulness, with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, right? Since we didn't decide to serve the Lord, but instead we followed the idols and the philosophies of these other heathens out here. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, right? Who is our enemies, right? You read Psalms, the 83rd chapter. The first one on the list is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay, that's the one who's ruling over us right now. And through his feminism, the woman has all the power, right? Okay, so it says, thou shalt serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, right? So the Lord, the guy in the video, he's right in a sense. The Lord did fuck us over, but he didn't fuck us over wrongfully. He fucked us up because we didn't keep the covenant, man. Okay, we didn't keep the covenant. Okay, but ultimately, the guy is wrong because, this isn't the way the Lord set up the woman to be. This isn't the system that the Lord set up. This is a temporary evil system that was set up as a punishment over us. Okay, so it says, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. Okay, and that yoke of iron representing slavery. Okay, and so to this day, our people are at the bottom of society, man, here in America. So that was the punishment that the Lord has set up, was for us, the Israelites, to be put in this condition. Okay, and so through this other nation, this heathen nation, Edom, ruling over us. Okay, they got the whole order of things on this planet all fucked up. You got men and men sleeping together. You got women ruling over men. Okay, let's go ahead to Jeremiah 31 and 22, because just to prove the point, man, this is a new thing on the earth. In traditionalism, in the ancient times, even in other cultures outside of our own, okay, this whole thing about women being empowered because they don't want dick, that was not even a thing, man. The woman better get her act together, or guess what? Nobody would date her. Nobody would be with her. But in this society, it's such a weird setup that women have the liberty to be hoes, and basically you got to just pick up one of these leftover women because there ain't nothing else to work with. It's either that or just the Lord bless you with a rare gem, or you just be, thug it out like Paul and just be single. Okay, but this is Jeremiah 31:22. It says, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. This is a new thing, man. This was never part of the Lord's design. This was never the way the Lord intended it. This is not natural. This is a new thing. It says, a woman shall compass a man. Okay, so yes, a woman ruling over men, that's a new condition the Lord has set up on the earth. And if you read the book of Jeremiah, it talks about how the Lord was dealing with our people. He had sent Babylon, the king, the ancient Neo Babylon, to come take us over because we sinned against the Lord. We worshipped idols. So Nebuchadnezzar put our people in slavery. Okay, and our people were in a state of mourning. And the Lord was showing, through the prophet Jeremiah, prophecies that would happen during that time and prophecies that will happen now, all the way fast forwarding to America, because there were more captivities to be had. The Babylonian captivity is one of the first captivities, man, apart from Egypt. You had ancient Egypt, then you had Neo-Babylon, then you had Medo-Persia, then you had Greece, then Rome, now America being the final captivity. So, through the prophets of old, the Lord was showing our people what we were going to go through, man. And one of the future things, way far in the future till now, one of those things that we was going to go through is our women ruling over us, man. Okay, so yeah, it's a terrible situation. I understand the energy, but it ain't the Lord. It ain't the Lord's system, man. See, that's what our people got confused, man. Okay, just because things are the way they are, that don't mean the Lord set it up that way from the beginning. You got to understand the bigger picture, Jake. Okay, now, some of the things he said was on point, like, how they think they're above us, and that's the way their judgment is kind of fucked up, so on and so forth. But we got to understand the full story and not just be out here talking about the Lord fucked up. And a lot of people in the world think this way. They think that this is normal, this is natural, and that, oh, it's just a flaw of the Lord. And those atheists, they say, oh, this is a flaw of evolution or whatever. See, this place is full of confusion and darkness, man. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. But that's fine, because that's why the Lord got his prophets out here, so we can teach, all right? And so Jake could come out of all these weird philosophies, man. The so-called Christian church will tell you that this is normal and natural, all right? The world, you go other places in the world, they teach atheism and all this evolution, and you go over here and you learn about these different idols. You got Santeria, and there's so many weird philosophies out here, man. But this is the truth right here. This is the light, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Bible. You're going to find it here in this channel, here at Great Millstone, where we break down the truth. What's going on? Why are we in this condition, man? Jake is mourning. Yeah, Jake understands our woman is out of control, man. For the longest time, the so-called white man, with his power and everything, he wasn't having these problems. His woman was very submissive to him. And that's why to this day, even you got a lot of Jakes that prefer to date so-called white women, because white women at least are in some type of an order. They understand how to act feminine a little bit, okay? But our women are completely out of control, masculine, just acting like brute beasts out here. So that's why a lot of Jakes are going to the so-called white woman. A lot of Jakes are going overseas, getting with the so-called Asian woman, okay? Because these other women, they have some remnant of this ancient way, which is the original way the Lord set up, which is for her to be feminine, submissive, shamefaced, hardworking. Okay, contrary to popular belief, these modern women are not hardworking. The only work they know how to do is go work a job, but they don't know how to do womanly work. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. They don't know how to do things around the house. They don't know how to de-stress their man. All they know how to do is add stress. You see? Because like he said in the video, they got all the power because why? We're in a system where they can hold pussy over your head like a carrot on a fucking stick. You see, and you being a man, the way the Lord created you to be fruitful and multiply, you want to fuck. But you can't fuck right away. You got to go through all these hoops and all this bullshit, you see? Okay? So yeah, man, that's the whole story. That's the whole picture. All right, now let's go down to 30 verse 31, man, because remember, the old covenant said if we sin against the Lord, that he would send this nation against us. Okay? And so we found out, like, over time, it's like, damn, we want to keep the law, but we are carnal. Our bodies, our flesh bodies cause us to sin. This wicked ass kingdom we live in is set up for you to want to sin. You've got all this entertainment and fast food and women being sexualized on TV and rap music. All this shit causes us to sin. But the Lord is going to give us that second covenant, which is ultimately the way that things have always let me word this the right way, which is ultimately the Lord's ultimate plan from the beginning was to give us this new covenant. Okay, it's just that we had to go through that boot camp process, the schoolmaster, which was the law. Okay, but now the law is going to be what? Written in our DNA. So now the old ways are going to come back permanently on the earth through us, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. Okay, and we're no longer going to be at the bottom of society. We're going to be the rulers. And now everybody is going to have to get their ass in line in this new system, in this new way, which is ultimately the Lord bringing back the old ways, the ways of peace back to the earth, man. This is Jeremiah 31:31. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith Yahweh. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I will put my law in their inward parts, that's in our DNA, and write it in their hearts, which is our mind, and will be their power, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahweh, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more. See, the Lord will no longer remember our sin, meaning we're going to be forgiven. Okay, the curses are going to be fully lifted off of us, and we are going to get the blessing of that law. Okay, you had the blessing and the curse. Let's get it. Deuteronomy 20:1, real quick. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, right? So if we follow the law perfect, which we will when we get those new bodies, it says that Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So we're going to rule the world. All right, with this law that I just showed you, with the right way that everything should have been running from the beginning, that's going to be reestablished on the earth through Yahweh in the name of his son Yahushai, who's going to be our king, and under him will be King David, and then the rest of the elect, 144,000 kings, who are going to rule this earth. Okay, and then we're going to have this order perpetually set up on this earth forever, man. So this whole thing about, women holding pussy over your head, feminism, abortion, LGBT, alphabet, all this shit, fucking poisoning the food, the water, the air, all these different things that are wrong with this society is going to be done away with, man. Okay? And these enemies of ours, these Edomites that the Lord sent against us, they're going into slavery. The same way they had us in slavery, they're going into slavery. So, this is only a temporary curse that we have to go through. Okay. And so I just wanted to bring some, shed some light on the situation because, when I was in the world, I was having a similar mindset to what he has. And so, when you're in darkness, you're going to see things through, a dark filter, for lack of a better word. okay? But when you have the truth of the scriptures, you understand why things are fucked up. You understand why things are the way they are, man, okay? And so what's the solution is coming back to your heritage, Jake. Coming back to the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of this Bible, you know, and repent because this kingdom is coming, whether you people out there want it or not. And guess what? In order for this kingdom to come, this kingdom here called America must be destroyed through thermonuclear destruction. And Yahweh Bashim Al Shai is going to be here and he's going to put a lot of people to death. Okay. And so if you're not with it, you don't get with the program, come out of this American mindset, or you don't renew your mind and start, rehearsing the righteous acts, doing what you're supposed to, having faith in the Lord, calling on the true names, living in this bubble, okay, that you've been living in, and you don't come out of it and do what you're supposed to, then you will be one of the casualties when the Lord comes to destroy this wicked world, because guess what? You're a part of it. So come out of this wicked world, Jake, and come back to this true wisdom, knowledge, understanding, man. And that's it, man. I want to finish by giving all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful like this out there, listening, learning, and or teaching the truth in sincerity. Shalom wa. Abba, Babal, shalom.